Hi everyone, it's Joel and Andy at Codebreak on the Stay Hungry podcast. Today we're going to be talking about turning your passion into a paperback. Andy,
Joel,
who are you and why the hell do you have any right to talk about turning your passion into a paperback?
I'm an Amazon best-selling author, thank you.
Oh,
I had to explain it to my mum the other day. She goes, I thought it was some magazine you were writing or something. I'm like, well, again, that brought me down to earth with a bump.
yeah, Mum, it was, but it sold really well in the Amazon.
You got that written down, haven't you, somewhere?
No, I just thought of it then.
Just off the top of your
Pleased
head?
with that, yeah.
We're just naturally funny, Joel, I think.
Yeah, the tribes of Brazil loved our magazine.
Writing a book. How long have we talked about writing a book?
I think you and I have talked about it since we've known each other. And then we've had Codebreak up and running properly for nearly 3 years. And then we've talked about it the whole time through that. And then third lockdown pretty much bullied us into it. Plus a business friend of ours bullied us into it. And then turns out he's one of the few people in our group that didn't write a book.
If you don't believe in the importance and the value of setting deadlines, then writing a book is a very good way of showing you how important they are, because otherwise we never got around to it. So we set ourselves some pretty aggressive deadlines to get the book done.
60 days.
Yeah.
From nothing to published in 60 days.
So if there's a book in you, you want to write a business book, mindset book, whatever it might be, believe me, it is possible. And hopefully we'll give you a few tips in this podcast about how we did it and became, well, best-selling authors.
And why it's good for marketing your business.
Available on Amazon and at Keel Services. Made it up. I don't know why. I'm sure it's not available at Keel Services. But it's been great. It's been very cathartic to do. It's been great for a marketing positioning tool. So obviously to be able to show how our marketing that sales systems work to get it into print, and it's become a big pillar in our business, really, isn't it?
I've lost count, and it's 2 months it's been out now, and I've lost count of the number of people who've mentioned it on a call or a video call with me. So, I've read your book, or I've seen your book, or great news about your book. And
I love this bit in your book about. And
yeah,
that's the hook that got them to get in touch.
Yeah. It's really easy to get too excited about it.
Even my second cousin Dilwyn has bought a copy, and I've got no idea why, because he's not in business. But
nice one, Dilwyn.
No, thanks, Dilwyn. That's like 30p, I think, for us, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we still haven't seen the royalties yet. I'm looking forward to that.
We can get
massive bag of gold coming.
Get McDonald's in, but no, it's great. We've done it. Planning book number 2 now, and again,
Stay hungry.
I promise you, we'll think of a more original title.
Now obese.
Right, let me stop Joel right there. It's a great thing to, and it's easier than you may think. If you've got something interesting, insightful to say about the business you work in,
and even if you haven't, sorry,
you've got too much sugar at lunchtime, you've got advice to share, then a book is a brilliant way of conveying that, because there's only so much information you can convey on a website, on a podcast, on a video series, whatever. Sometimes a book, Kindle, whatever reading version you prefer, it is how a lot of people like to learn.
Audible, that's next for us. We've got to record the Audible.
Oh, shit, how long will that take?
Hours.
So Stephen Fry doing all the Harry Potters, that must have taken him years.
I think he probably got well rewarded for that.
Yeah, but there's well rewarded, and there's... Yeah, okay, I suppose you'd do anything for that amount of money, wouldn't you? I wonder how much you did get.
I mean, it wouldn't be awful, would it, to have to read Harry Potter and get paid for it? No?
I'm just thinking...
This morning I attempted the bit.
3 hours a day, every day, for like fucking years. Don't know why I saw that.
You clearly feel passionately about it. We're still doing an Audible, Andy, and no, you can't sub someone in.
Yeah, I don't think my mum listens to our podcast anymore, so I hope I won't get told off for that one.
Sorry, Mum.
Swearing, what do you think about that?
Me?
What do you think about people using it basically?
Studies have shown, Andy, that people that swear are likely to be more intelligent than people that don't.
Fuck off. No, I was reading. No, I was watching a video on YouTube, and it was a video of the Jocko Willink podcast, and he was talking about marketing and talking about swearing, and basically saying that there's a lot of marketing gurus out there, the people who like getting on stage and talking about marketing. Whether they can actually implement it in the real world is another story. But talking about how they swear almost as a marketing tool for themselves to make them. And maybe a few years ago it was different, it was wacky, it was controversial. But now, like, you've got children dropping the F-bomb every other word, and there's not necessarily a need for it. I know we swear now and then, but we're certainly not doing it deliberately or to look, he swears. Isn't he crazy?
Yeah, I don't swear for grammatical reasons, and I don't swear for impact. And I never used to swear in something like a podcast or presentation before, but about 2 years ago in the business, I had a moment where it was like, actually, I'm just going to be me.
Is that wise?
I mean, you were in the meeting when it happened, but it's been so much better for mindset. So I do swear, and sometimes I swear like a trooper, and that comes over. But if ever somebody listened to the podcast and then called up and said, it sounds like you're swearing for impact, or it sounds like you're swearing for no reason, I was like, get lost, you fucking prick. No.
There are some people who drop F-bombs every other word, and it's just like, well, is there a need for it? Are you really just trying too hard? Or, like our pet hate of the overuse of adjectives and adverbs, are you doing, because what you're trying to convey without swearing just wouldn't be impactful enough, so you're almost trying to convince yourself. It's like, well, that's just a bit of a trick,
I mean, I've got a bad reputation for it amongst my friends, because on my stag do, I got so drunk that the only words I could get out was "go fuck yourself," because I was being that abused by the gang.
Drunk Joel.
So they all tell me to go fuck myself all the time now, which is really nice.
I haven't met many of my friends.
It's funny that.
None are in business, though, are they?
Well, Nev.
Oh, Nev, yeah. Do you find it hard, that in your business, that the harder it is almost to talk to people socially if they're not in business? I find it really, really weird. It's almost like, not that you haven't got anything in common with. If you're both mad footballers or something, you've got something to talk about. But I find it much easier to talk to people who run businesses. Yeah,
it's really difficult for people to understand why. Because, like, we're both very passionate about our jobs, and it's very difficult for people who are really excited for the weekend. They can't wait to go for drinks at the pub on Friday night, to understand why you and I are excited about having to work late on a Friday.
Or excited it's Monday again. Brilliant, another week to attack.
We had that conversation here the other day about hating Sundays. And I hate Sundays because I'm bored. And some people hate Sundays because they're dreading Mondays. And no, I hate the Sunday because I'm looking forward to the Monday, which I'm sure there'll be people listening to this podcast thinking, bloody weirdo. But
it's like, we were so excited about writing the book, and most of my friends are like, very happy for us, but no compulsions themselves, and what's the point? Oh, sounds like a lot of work, and I totally get that. I'm not knocking that, but just that there's maybe a bit of a not different, certainly not a better mindset, just a different mindset. If you want to do the 9 to 5, whether you're helping people, whatever job you're doing, brilliant. It's just not for me, and I guess I can more easily relate to other business owners who are out there, especially through the pandemic, fighting tooth and nail to protect their livelihood. Although obviously it affected employees as well, of course.
Yeah. I guess if you are intending to write a book, and if you're a business owner, I would highly recommend it. Highly, highly recommend it. There's a few things you need to be wary of, which go with the territory being a business one. One, by telling people you're going to write a book, you're putting your head above the parapet. And I would say 75% of my friends and family reaction was pretty much a sarcastic, "Oh yeah, writing a book, are you?
Hello, JK.
Yeah, who do you think you are?" And also just disbelief. They just didn't think I would. That, oh, you've said this kind of shit before, Joel. You told us you're going to be a millionaire. Blah 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 blah. Blah. Yeah, we'll fucking see about that.
Yeah, we'll show them, Rodney.
Yeah, but that's something you've got to be really aware of. There's an inner strength you've got to have to make it happen when you have that many doubters around you, because it's a weird thing to do. Not many people write a book. And the other side of it is the people who are supportive, most of them don't believe you either. So they're being nice, and you can feel it, and that's almost worse than the detractors, because at least the detractors you can use to motivate yourself. The people who are like, "All right, good luck, nice one," that's horrible. You've got to and then the next thing you need to be aware of is The day it launches and you're really excited, nobody else gives a shit. And
Talk about our mums again.
mums, wives, yeah.
Was it a Sunday or Saturday?
Launched on a Saturday.
Yeah, I was in the garden.
Woke up on the Sunday and it was a bestseller. And I said to Hannah, Hannah, our book's a bestseller in the UK, US and Australia. And she said, is it? What's it called?
Do you know what I've been doing for 60 days? Yeah. But you're right, there's so many things in business and in life. A lot of people, they want to make, say, fitness commitments. So they go onto Facebook and say, I'm going to lose a stone in 6 months. They want to make that public declaration, so it makes them more accountable.
Yes.
And we knew when we get the bit between our teeth, nothing's going to stop us. But to make that commitment, we're going to do a book.
Yeah.
And then you stick to it. Brilliant. And if you plan everything, and that's what we found handy, is that, right, okay, we're going to do, so our book is basically, the subtitle is How to Create Marketing That Sells Even in the New Economy. So we're going to teach you our marketing that sells system, and it's a 10-step system. So 10 steps, 10 chapters, with an introduction, with a summary, conclusion, whatever. And that's a good to have a framework. If you just sit there and start writing,
not going to happen.
No, yeah. You'll just be all over the shop. And and when we talk, marketing, when we talk about targeting your customer avatar, your ideal person, we'll talk about, you veer to the left, you veer to the right a bit, but you always come down to that central spine.
You shake it all around and you do the twist. Come on. No?
What's that?
I don't know.
Is that Chuck Berry?
Probably.
Have you been drinking? Say, you always come back to that central spine, like in a book, and you need that, or our advice would be to have that framework. And don't deter, because without it, you will just be veering so left and so right. You won't retain people's attention. They'll start reading the book, they'll buy it, you'll get the money, happy days. But will they? Because you had some stat about how many people finish a book, and it's really low.
Yeah, I mean, we sent our book to the editor, and she stripped out 10,000 words instantly. So even when you've got a framework, it's still gonna get cut back. Yeah. So, I mean, we've talked a lot about writing a book. Why Stay Hungry? The book, not the podcast, or the videos, or the motto.
Marketing that sells even in the new economy.
So who should read it?
So when we were writing our chapters, the people we had in mind, because again, everyone wants to appeal to, or most people, they want to appeal to everyone, but of course they realise they can't do that. So we're obviously writing for business owners, for entrepreneurs, but generally speaking, they are people who are already in business, but they want to take it to the next level. Because sometimes a good book to read is the E-Myth, and that's been a big influence in our careers. That you're a fantastic baker, but you're sick of working for someone else. You open up your own bakery, but you end up still baking the bread, and it's getting away from being a baker to actually running, operating, and marketing your bakery. And so we wrote Stay Hungry for these business owners with some experience, but were maybe stuck in a bit of a rut and needed something to kickstart them, to take them to the next level, to become a proper business owner rather than someone who was still employed. They just happened to be employed by themselves.
Yeah.
I've got a feel, I'm sure there's a book in us about sole traders, new businesses, to go from like a sole trader or a startup into a big business. I think that would be a good book, actually. Whether that's book number 2.
Get Hungry.
Who knows? Get Hungry. A bit of a theme here, John.
I like it. Means I can keep using that dinosaur.
Stay Hungry is it's a cornerstone of what we do, really. Because obviously it's one of our values anyway. But stay hungry for success, hungry to learn. It just dominates.
Hungry Hippos, that was a good game.
Oh, I heard you have that. That was second only to Frustration.
Which was quite frustrating.
Very frustrating.
I had Kaplunk as well. Did you have that?
Kaplunk? What was the donkey one?
Buckaroo.
Bloody hell.
I mean, wasn't a donkey, was he?
Operation, obviously, all-time favourite.
Yeah, no,
unless you got the shakes, obviously.
I was going to say, I felt that other game where you couldn't have the shakes as well with the wire.
Oh god, that's a hard one.
Doesn't come over too well on a podcast when I do a visual gesture. But okay, we digress. So yeah, that's why we wrote our book. SME owners, decision makers, marketing directors
who are probably plateauing. Because I think it is easy to plateau in business. You work so hard to get to a certain level, and then maybe You take your eye off the ball, or to be honest, you just want to enjoy your
Get
success.
comfy, you get comfy.
Get comfy, and we know for ourselves, comfort leads to complacency. Could be a dangerous place to be, and for us, if you're plateauing, you're going backwards. But with the right team, processes, and systems behind you, that doesn't mean you just have to work harder and harder and harder all your life. Of course, it should get easier. You've got to celebrate the wins and enjoy time with your family, of course. But there are ways of marketing your business better that don't require more of your time, energy, and even money.
And it's
about being smarter.
Oh, hugely smarter, more organised, more disciplined, and a big thing for me, and I suspect you, is we've both realised that it's not the destination we're interested in; it's the journey, and so a plateau is just not something we consider, because that means that we're happy with the destination, and that's just not going to be the case.
It's good to have goals, of course, but that journey is so important, because you know, you never know. It's not things many people talk about. There's always someone just getting bad news, or God forbid, keeling over and stuff. And it's like, just enjoy the moment. And sometimes it's hard, of course. It's in business. If you're an employee, whatever you're doing for a job, there's going to be challenges. There's going to be bad days. But you want to do something you love. You want to do something you're passionate about. You want to do something you enjoy. And if all you're doing is like, right, I want to get to my first million, I guarantee it, you'll get to your first million. Guess what? I want 2 million now. I want 3 million now. And then before you know it, you keel over. It's like, oh shit, he didn't enjoy any of that.
Yeah.
But he just work his arse off.
Yeah, I think you've got to put things in place, like the marketing that sells system, but other things too, regular gym routine, etc., that make the journey enjoyable, because the journey is 99% of the time. The destination is quite finite. So
that's, and having a laugh, enjoying what you do, it's because I think marketing sometimes can be it's seen as such a manual job. It's seen as a manual series of tasks. But if there is something repeatedly you need to do to market your business, there is a better way of doing it. If everything you're doing to market your business is manual, you are missing a massive trick, and it is taking you way too much time than it needs to be. There are processes, software, systems out there that can do the heavy lifting for you. You do the creativity, come up with the ideas, the copy, whatever it might be. But if you're there day in, day out, implementing, which I think is probably 95% of businesses, you need to read the book.
Yeah. I mean, we had that exact situation today. We've got to send emails out to a large database for a client, and the monthly subscription for that software at that level is well into the hundreds. But when you factor in that if every week you had to send a series of 12 emails manually to 50,000 people, I know which I'd rather do. And stuff like that. But then I still meet people who are like, oh, hang on, I've just got to do a post. Are you for real? You're on holiday. Yeah, but I've got to post every day. You could have automated. Can I? Oh, you have to pay for that, don't you? Yeah. Just.
It's difficult. I still struggle explain that if I'm like face to face talking to a business, especially someone who's new in business, and to talk about things costing, when at the beginning you want to do, like everyone, there's that temptation to do everything on the cheap.
Yeah.
Oh, I can do that. Or my mate's second cousin does a bit of web design. Oh, so and so's sister, she'll print off some business cards using that machine in Asda. Don't get me wrong. I can see when there's not much money there. I get that, and of course you have to hustle, you have to work. But once that money starts coming in, that needs to be reinvested. So I was reading, I think it was a post by Kim Constable today, actually, the Sculpted Vegan, and she was talking about loads of the business owners she knows who think that organic social media is the way forward, and usually that they end up disappointed because obviously the organic reach of social media is so low, which they're not aware about. And Kim was saying, you've got to use paid for social media. She was saying, out of the £1 million, the $1 million she earned in her first year or whatever, she said probably 750,000 of that was spent on ads. So she made the $250,000 profit. He says you always got to invest in paid for advertising. Well, maybe you don't need the book to tell you that. Hopefully you already know that. But if all you're trying to do is use free platforms to promote your business, whether that's joining a free networking club or a free Facebook group, or you're on Instagram for free, it's you might get where you want to go, but it'll fucking cost you a lot in terms of your mindset and mentality, I bet you.
Yeah. Yeah,
and it'll
absolutely.
take you 10 times longer.
So back to the book.
Okay.
And book writing, obviously. Doesn't matter what business you're in, you can use a book to showcase your system, to showcase your philosophy, to showcase your expertise, to showcase an opinion piece. But what stopped us for so long? What were your biggest fears, or what were the biggest barriers to us for it happening?
Oh God, that is a biggest fear was almost like not being able to do it. So once you made the public, almost like admission or statement, we were going to do it, I knew 100% it would happen. But what if? Because stuff always gets in the way. You're recruiting, you're looking after staff, you're marketing your business, you're looking after clients, spending time with your family. When the hell am I going to fit writing a book in? And will I do it half-assed? And it's like, I can't commit to anything half-assed. It's all or nothing. So it's probably that initial fear. And I don't mind admitting that. There's a lot of fear in business, and sometimes that stops you from doing some good work. But like, we probably talked each other into it.
I think so. I think the pandemic really helped in the sense that we both got a really, really clear image of how bad it can get, both in our own business and seeing what was happening to other people's businesses. And I had a very, very overwhelming feeling, sort of November through till April this year, of it's now or never. With the book, with the office refurb, with recruitment, with advertising, it was like, well, if we're going to do this, I've seen how bad it can get. It's now or never, and that was really fortunate. So I think the second book might be harder because I'm not springing back out of the darkness, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I also now know I can do it, and that makes life a lot easier,
I'd probably watch a David Goggins video or something. You just told him to stop fucking whining and get on with it.
JFDR,
Yeah, and it's like, oh, okay, Goggy, I'll just
Sorry, David. Sorry, David. Yes, sir.
Don't shout at me.
Yeah.
That's a good book, though. Really enjoyed his book.
Yeah.
And he's obviously certainly not going to be for everyone, but there are points where, like the video I shared with you, you realise that sometimes, I'm probably just whining and bitching here, and I just need to do it.
Oh, I don't mind saying on the podcast, you and I can have days of whining and bitching and moaning about things, and we both know it's no good for us, but it can happen. But when you put yourself in a process like writing a book, like you said, it's cathartic. That couple of hours a day where you sit there and get your knowledge out on paper is such a great way to snap your mind out of the pebble in your shoe type scenarios. You're suddenly like, oh, bloody hell, actually, this is good. Oh, yeah, it's taking me down this route. Oh, I'll get that down. Oh, yeah, this is important. Get that down. And you kind of get to the end of the day and you're like, all right, maybe I'm not an imposter. Maybe I do know about this stuff.
I do think it's good to have these almost like anchors in your business. I don't know what sort of NLP guys will call them, but some people talk about put a motivational message onto a post-it note and stick it on your shaving mirror or your bathroom mirror. So the first thing when you get up every day puts you in the right frame of mind. And I think every time if I look up and see our book on the bookshelf or see our book on the desk, every time I see it, it does remind me that okay, you may not be the best marketer in the world, but you do know a thing or two. Because like you say, imposter syndrome, it is out there, and even the most confident people in the world, I guarantee you, will doubt themselves once in a while. So we said we'd write a book, Joel. We've fucking written one. It's become a bestseller, and more importantly, I know that people who read it will get something out of it, and that's great. We've had people call us up, or people who've become clients. I really got a lot out of your book. Thank you. Job done.
Yeah. I mean, I know our mentor said to us, you need to get a big piece of paper and in marker pen write, I am an Amazon bestseller, and stick it on the wall before you get started.
I'm a strong, confident woman.
And you are. And I did that, and I felt like such an imposter even doing that. And obviously my wife could see it because it was in our house. And she was quite supportive at that point. She didn't think I'd gone mad. But I didn't tell my mates I'd done that.
I'm sure there's a stat somewhere about the chance of you achieving a goal if you write it down are like bloody 20% higher or something like that.
So obviously I do all sorts of coaching and mentorship and go down the rabbit hole all the time. I've got my life vision written down on my bedside table now, and I read it every day.
Is that what a statement or bullet points or what?
Bullet points, just all the things that I want
that
in
you
life.
want to achieve.
Yeah.
With deadlines.
So I've got everything. I've got
Can you
two.
share a couple?
Yeah, so I've got two. I've got stuff I want to achieve this year, and I've got stuff that I want to achieve at some point in life.
Written on one piece of paper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Either side. So this year, one was move house, which I'm pretty much on the way to do. Get a smoker.
What's a smoker?
Like a type of American barbecue.
Like an egg.
Yeah, like an egg. So you cook things really slowly in it with smoke.
Oh.
Yeah, so like a big green egg, but not.
How much one of those then? Dare I ask? Is it three numbers or four?
Three.
Okay.
3 for the one I want. So they're kind of like.
Chicken properly.
Do you want to know about this vision or not?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
So you came to my house once and I served you raw chicken. So what? That's why I cook things slowly now. Never known someone find themselves so funny. So they're like, well, house move's not a little thing, but they're the sort of little things. And then on the big vision statement, one is a body weight that I want to be.
Right. Okay.
So.
And is that got a deadline?
It hasn't got a deadline at the moment.
Right.
It should have a deadline.
Okay.
You've caught me out. One is to go and see the orangutans in Borneo. So pretty random, but that's a big one for myself and my wife.
Oh, that'd be well cool. That one. You guaranteed to see them. Actually, my brother's been.
Has he?
Yeah, he went to Borneo because I know was it
Hannah's been
Where did you go? Was it Hannah went somewhere to see something and never saw them?
twice. Hannah went to
bear?
Sweden to see bears, and I gave her some extra money so she could go off on a bear watching thing. Didn't see any bears, so we went to Canada and saw bears.
So you guaranteed seeing.
But Hannah's been to Borneo.
Oh, okay.
But she got dengue fever and had to stay in the hotel the whole time.
Are you joking? Did like bring one to her?
An
In a
orangutan,
cage?
yeah.
No. So are you guaranteed to see orangutans?
Well, we would do a few things. So we would go to a sanctuary and see orphan orangutans, and then we'd go off into the wild to see.
These are the ones from that Clint Eastwood film. He's orangutan, wasn't he? Clyde. Right turn, Clyde. Is that your orangutan?
Yeah, what's that bloody called? Clyde the orangutan, yeah.
He died not that long ago, am I right?
What's that film called? That's going to bug me now. There's two.
Any Which Way But Loose.
Yeah.
Yes, any which way you can. Right turn, Clyde. Yeah, this is why we can't eat Nutella, isn't it?
Palm oil, yeah.
Palm oil.
So yeah, they're the kind of things on the, and there's financial goals, there's family goals, there's
How many?
probably 20 on each side of the paper. 20 for this year and 20
You read it
for
every
life.
morning. That's that. Yeah. So like our book. Do you have our book next to you as well?
I've got 4 copies of our book on our bookcase at home, so that it's always there when I turn out the living room. Just
There is a word. I mean, I just call them anchors.
it's like visualization,
Yeah,
isn't it?
to get you in the right frame of mind, to remind you that you're.
I used to think goal setting was bollocks. I'm not going
And me.
because I bump into so many people in business who bang on about their goals and never achieve them, and it drills my mind. So I've kind of changed it in my head. They're not goals; they're promises, and they're things that I'm gonna do, and that's what I remind myself every day. And it's not arrogance, and I've got friends that would take the piss out of me for it. But so what?
What, for having goals? Or writing them down?
Getting above my station, I think, is how it would be.
Bloody hell.
Everyone's got it, haven't they? I released a book. And
Don't forget where you're from.
yeah,
Joel.
and the joke, the joke when you're having a pint is, oh, one for you, and one for you, the Amazon best-selling author. Oh, fuck. It's,
Yeah, this is why I don't go out.
yeah, but it's good because it's humbling, keeps you grounded. But at the same time, I'm not going to let my roots or my social circles dictate to me what my ambitions are.
Well, that's all that trolls are. They're people sat on a sofa getting annoyed by other people's happiness and success, and they get their own. I was having this chat with my eldest daughter the other day about saying that there are people whose main source of happiness is seeing or making other people unhappy. And I said that's an awful, awful, sad character trait for someone to have. To take, there's a website called Tattle, and it's basically where you go and bitch about people.
How do you know about that?
Kim Constable will screenshot what people are saying about her on Tattle. So how sad. You go on, and the whole purpose of this forum is to slag off people in the spotlight. So that could be mega, mega famous people. It could be smaller celebrities and marketing gurus. But you just basically go and bitch about people. So Kim Constable, the sculpted vegan, so she must have some inside, or maybe she's got her own fake account in there, will screenshot sometimes what people are saying about her. And fucking hell, it's awful. And it's the saddest thing you've ever seen, because everyone hides behind anonymity. They're all using fake usernames or
DJ69.
Yeah. Oh, do you see what Kim Constable's doing? Oh, I wouldn't like an arse like hers. Oh, she says she's vegan, but she's got all this. Just, is that what you're doing with your day? Fuck me, what a way to live.
Yeah, and I guess like someone like Kim, and if you write a book, you have to build up a certain level of resilience.
She's got I think she has a very thick skin.
It's got to be water off a duck's back, because
some of the stuff she like anyone who grows and grows, especially if you grow quickly, that really pisses some people off, because I think they think it's easy. I know what Kim Constable has done in a short space of time, and she's planning a course that I'm attending next week, and she's been up working on it at 4 a.m. like solidly for the past month or so. And let's face it, we know people who won't join a networking breakfast club.
Because it's at 6.
Oh, fucking hell, I'm not getting up at that time. You just told me your business is in trouble and you want to know what you can do to make things better. Well, how about trying this? Oh, fucking hell, it's a bit early, isn't it? Oh, I'm sorry, I can't help you. So we know lots of people like that.
Yeah.
Even the ones that start at 8 o'clock, that's a challenge for some people. But yeah, you've got to have a thick skin. And yeah, we know there are people who've said things about us because of the book. And you've got to have that sort of, well, fuck them.
Oh, from the book business, all sorts of things we've done. I've cut people out of my life for you don't bring anything positive to my life, therefore I'm not going to make an effort with you. And guess what? When you stop making an effort with them, they go away, and that's fine. I've got other people who lift me up. Everyone's got people in their lives that lift them up. Spend more time with them.
Yeah, and if you're already succeeding in business, you probably come up against this all the time. If you want to succeed in business, you will come up against this. And writing a book, you get, I've no doubt you listening, if you do your homework, interesting subject, insights to share, have a plan, a chapter framework, and stick to it, your book will get out there, and some people won't like it. And that's all right. When you get your first 1-star review, hey, that's okay. Just make sure you don't get dragged down to anyone else's level.
So what would you say to someone thinking about writing a book?
Just fucking do it.